my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about this book that I just finished reading and how much I absolutely loved it. So I was actually recommended this book from Krissy's Book and Makeup Nook, and I'm so glad that I read it. It's called The Deal by Elle Kennedy. And going in, I read the synopsis and I thought it sounded really interesting, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I do, and which is why I'm on here filming and telling you guys about it. So it's about a boy named Garrett who's a big shot hockey player. Of course, he's the captain of the team. He's like really cocky. His focus is hockey, and he's like just kind of does what he wants to do, hooks up with who he wants to hook up with, and that's pretty much it. Until he gets a failing grade on his ethics exam, and if he doesn't get his grade up, he's not going to be able to play anymore. So he runs into this girl named Hannah, and he sees her that she got an A on her paper, so he's trying to talk her into like tutoring him, and she's like, no, I'm so busy, like I don't have time. But he's very persistent. He needs this grade, so he's like offering her money, all this stuff, trying to figure out what she wants. But she has eyes for this guy named Justin. So once Garrett realizes this, he like basically offers himself up in his popularity status that he'll go out with her to make this guy jealous because he knows him and they're kind of friends. So kind of reluctantly she agrees, even though she kind of doesn't think it's gonna work, but then it does. But her and Garrett end up like forming this friendship, and it just kind of goes from there. That's all I'm really gonna tell you about the story because I don't want to spoil too much more for you. But I really loved this book, mostly because it's not one of those romance novels where it's like that insta love, like they see each other and they both just feel it, like he's this player and he just sees her and he feels just drawn to her kind of thing. I love those books, don't get me wrong, like those are great and amazing too. They keep me entertained and I love just eating them up. But I really loved that like he saw her and yeah, he thought she was hot and he wanted to bang her. But he wasn't like, oh, I'm in love with her, like, instantly. So that was kind of nice, and she was, like, repulsed by him the entire, like, beginning of the book, because she thought he was such a jerk and all this stuff. But, like, it's so funny, like, their comedic timing with each other and, like, how, like, cocky he is and how she's so, like, sassy and sharp with him. Like, it's just so good, and, like, literally I was, like, dying laughing, like, almost the entire book, and, like, oh, it's just so good. I absolutely love their characters. I love that it's not like an insta love and it actually like, I mean, it still happens really fast, like timeline wise, but it actually feels more real because they're not just like instantaneously in love with each other. There's actually like build up and they become friends, and it's just so good. So I just finished reading it like literally right before I sat down to make this video. It's actually like a standalone book as much as I wish there was more. But it's 3 others in the series called the Off-Campus series. I just bought the second one in the book. It is called The Mistake, and it's got his friend Logan and apparently some girl that he's involved with in it. But I read the synopsis and I want to read it, so that's what I'm going to read next. But I really enjoyed this book. They're all standalone, so you could read all of them by themselves. I kind of wish there was more Garrett and Hannah because I love Garrett now, and he's officially like my #1 romance novel crush. So yeah, me and one of my friends who are reading this together, she definitely agreed. She's still very much cuddle with Tuttle from More Than Friends, but I think maybe Garrett has stolen my heart away from Tuttle just a little bit. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to tell you guys about this week. If I end up reading the other ones before I get around to posting this on Tuesday, maybe I'll throw a review of those in for you as well. Okay, so post The Deal, we have The Mistake, which is one of Garrett's roommates, Logan. It's his story. And the beginning of the story, he thinks he's in love with Hannah. He keeps avoiding them. He keeps avoiding being in the house when they're in the house, that kind of thing. One of the nights, he ends up leaving to go hang out with a friend who's invited him over, who lives in the dorms, and he goes to the dorms, but he left so quick, he left his cell phone and everything, and he can't remember exactly where he's supposed to be going. So he shows up at a room and a door and he thinks it's the one he's going to, but he actually ends up at this girl named Grace's room. Now Grace, she's a freshman. She obviously knows who John Logan is because he's a big hotshot hockey star and all the girls want him. Shows up at her door and they just start kind of talking, and finally he asks her like, hey, can I use your cell phone? Maybe I can figure out where I'm going. But of course nobody remembers cell phone numbers anymore this day and age because you can just program it in. So he ends up calling, or he's going to call a cab, but him and Grace start talking and then it just becomes this awkward bantering, and then they end up hanging out, and then they end up hooking up. And then he just leaves very abruptly, doesn't really satisfy her needs, and he's gone. So that was their first encounter, but then he starts to like second guess the whole thing that happened between them, and he starts to feel bad that he doesn't think he satisfied her. So he keeps going back for more. And that's how their story kind of starts, and I don't want to spoil any more for you guys, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But it's super adorable how after the fact he's trying to like win her back, and or like win her attention at least, because he kind of was a dick to her. And he ends up going on this like kind of scavenger hunt to like get all these things to prove to her that she means something to him, which I thought was super adorable. And Logan ended up being like, he was so cute and so sweet, and I really did like him. But then I got to the third book called The Score with Dean and Ally. Ally is actually Hannah's roommate from The Deal. So she broke up with her boyfriend Sean. She's trying to like get him out of her head. She's one of those back and forth relationships, and this time she's like done. So to avoid him, she ends up going to the house where all the guys live, and Dean's there, Tucker's out, everybody's gone for the week, everyone else is gone for the weekend. But she goes there because she knows her ex is going to show up at her dorm room, and she's afraid that if he shows up, she'll take him back again. So she goes over there, she's hanging out with Dean, and pretty much they both they hang out and they end up tequila, and they both get really drunk and they hook up. And then after the fact, it's like, oh my god, what did we do? But Ally's like, okay, it's done, I'm over it, I can't believe I did that with Dean. And then Dean's like, wow, like what the heck with this girl, like why do I still want to like pretty much hook up with, he's like, why do I want to hook up with her again, because he's very much one and done. So basically the third book is Dean and Ally like tiptoeing around each other, sneaking around with each other. This one was my absolute favorite so far, and like I didn't think I could like someone more than I liked Garrett from the first book, but then I read Dean's book and I was just gone. The book is absolutely hilarious. If you've read The Deal, you get like snippets of just how funny Dean's character is. But then when you get to his story, he's just so like over the top hilarious. Like I was dying half of the book just like laughing so hard. But I absolutely loved this book. I loved the characters. I loved Ally and Dean. And I'm currently in the middle of the fourth book called The Goal, which is Tucker's story. Just like off the bat, like Tucker's been very like a quiet behind the scenes character for the first like 3 books. He was kind of just like lurking in the shadows, I guess. And the beginning of the fourth book starts and it's just kind of like, what happened? Like right out the gate, like that's Tucker? Okay. So yeah, this book is following Tucker and the girl Sabrina James. They mentioned her a couple times in the other books, and she's actually a girl that Dean hooked up with, and they're both poli-sci majors. And they hooked up, and she thinks he's an ass because he got a good grade, and she thinks he's a rich jerk who just gets everything handed to him. And she's very much a hardworking girl who's got like 2 jobs. She commutes to a college like an hour away. She has to like work her ass off for everything that she gets. And so she just thinks Dean is like this privileged jerk, and because of him, she has a strict no hockey player rule. But Tucker quickly changes that, and yeah, I'm in the middle of that now. I'm only about halfway through it, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. I'm not sure if I love him more than I love Dean right now, but he's definitely getting close. You guys should definitely check them out. If you do, please let me know. I can't wait to read some more things by Elle Kennedy because I really like her writing style, so I'm intrigued to start on something else. So if you have any suggestions for other books of hers that you've loved, just let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna finish up this book, and then I think the next thing I want to read, I don't know. I might take a small break. I'm almost at like 20, I think I'm almost at like 30 books, and it's only February. And I mean, I'm not mad at it. I mean, that's like, what? Why? But I have been like seriously neglecting the story that I've been working on, that I started working on during NaNoWriMo, and so I really want to just kind of take a breather from reading and focus on that for a while, or at least until I get it done, because I would really love to get it done. I wanted to have it done by the end of this month, but that's definitely not going to happen now. So maybe March, we'll see. But if not, I will see you guys next Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any other suggestions for books down below, please let me know. I'll also link Krissy down below because she has an amazing channel, and she reviews amazing books, so you should check her out, and she does awesome other things. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye!